Hello, everybody.
Morning.
Morning. How's everybody in Sky Valley?
Damp.
Oh, why my camera's not working?
There it is.
Hey,
There it is.
there we go.
There,
Damn, it's been raining a lot up there, Mayor.
Just a tad.
And we had a big storm last night come rolling through.
We had to get out the city boats.
Oh, so that's the yacht that I've seen around here.
Yes, Bob. I think that our city manager needs to share the picture of himself out by our main culvert in his sport coat and dress slacks, soaking wet, directing traffic.
Come on, Jason, show us the picture.
Well, it's really just people driving through the barricades, but it'll be on the Sky Valley newsletter, but I did modify the picture not to embarrass anybody. But there's cars driving through about 4 foot of water.
Hey, I know I've mentioned before too, but I do not get the newsletter whenever it comes out. Can somebody please put me on that list?
That would be Karen.
Aha.
I'll add you to the list because you're missing out.
Thank you, dear. I appreciate it.
Well, how are you feeling, Doug?
Actually, thanks, Jim. I'm feeling certainly much better. Started physical therapy last week, so that's got, it's tough go to, when you haven't done anything, and I mean not hardly anything for 8 weeks. Just stretching and things like that, hurt. So got to do this for 6 weeks, and but everything else, I feel pretty good. So I'm excited. We're 8 weeks down the pipe. So
I used to call my guy the physical terrorist.
Well, it looks
Reassuring.
like we're all here except Tony. We heard from Tony.
Tony has been switched to a new committee, Bob. I meant to tell you that at our last council meeting because we have increased the responsibilities of the special projects committee.
Are you going to replace him?
I don't know.
Okay. Well, I guess as long as he's not spending his time out on the mayoral hot. Right. Let me change my view here. Gosh.
You're going to your glamour shot, Bob?
No, heck no. I'd like to black myself out today. I want to be able to look at you in the corner and then also look at my my computer and my email and stuff. So maybe I've got to, oh, here you go. There we go. All right. Again, I'm technically challenged as always. All right, let's call to order. Good morning, everybody. First thing is to approve the minutes from last time. You all got copies of those several weeks ago. Anybody want to make a motion to accept?
I move we approve the minutes.
I'll make the motion.
Okay, and a second.
Second.
Any negative comments or any other discussion? Perfect. Okay, so we got a very nice, hello? I'm getting some feedback here. Got some, a nice update from Doug. Why don't you take it away, Doug?
Okay.
Doug is
Doug, you're
muted.
muted.
You talk about challenge. How do you do nothing? So I think it was one of y'all that did it. Okay, Doug's gonna talk.
I muted everybody.
It probably
minimize
was Jason.
feedback, so-
Jason did. I don't know. Doug.
Hit the space bar and it should unmute you.
Well,
We're getting feedback.
thank you. Trust me, I'm just very pleased when the computer comes on and the emails pop up. So,
Yeah.
all right. We'll start off. Mike May, well-known golf writer, was in Sky Valley last month and absolutely loved everything. Golf course, the clubhouse, the croquet court, the homes, just everything. The churches. Mike was up here for about 6 days. He lives in South Florida and writes for stuff all over the country and in Europe, and so he came out right off the bat, and we did some social media on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, and one of the ones, and I forget which one this one is. I believe this one might be. It's in the email I sent you. It's just a sample because, you know, they're just brief little statements they send out. But and so this went, his whole week got over 21,000 views, 1,500, excuse me, likes from all over the US and Europe. And it's a great way to get stuff out very fast. Mike, so is just got through writing a piece on his trip in a golf magazine, and a couple of the paragraphs below there are in the your email again I sent you about Sky Valley, and also the Dillard House. So we've written about the Dillard House a couple of times, and Mike and I have been contacting them, and they love being a part of what we're doing. And so they gave Mike a overnight stay and fed him a dinner and breakfast, and got to talk to I forgot one of the Dillard family members, and so he had a big piece about that, because that's great if we can do that, because that's great. People know that you know, here's a great place to eat just right down the street from Sky Valley. Mike is also going to be, this article that he will write will go out to other magazines, and depending on when they can put it in, from Ohio to Tennessee to New England to other places. Also talked to Mike yesterday, and he's planning on doing a blog, a special blog on Sky Valley that I will share with you when he gets it up and going, that will reach a lot of people. This one will just be on Sky Valley, so I'm excited to see that. Mike's a big fan of the Georgia Golf Trail, and does a lot of stuff for me, and I certainly appreciate him. Social media, each week we put stuff on social media. I mean, just very simple and very easy. This morning I did Twitter and LinkedIn about Sky Valley, and just real simple. You know, hey, thinking about going somewhere this fall, check out Sky Valley, ga.com, highest and coolest city in North Georgia. I mean, something real short and sweet, and certainly, and then put the, as I just mentioned, the website, and it doesn't take, you know, a minute to do either one. So we try to do that as many times as we can, because I'm on LinkedIn and Twitter more than anything. But very excited about, you know, who we can reach, things like that. Another media person, Bill Bauer, is coming to Sky Valley in the next month. And he was one of the ones that got rained out last week and does a great job. And he will be coming and spending the night in the homes or condos that Bill is allowing us to do at a special rate, I believe. And then he will be playing golf the next morning. So he will be able to promote to people we need to be hitting, and people in South Carolina and North Carolina. It reaches over 25,000 golfers and travelers. So excited. Certainly we'll share that when that comes out with you. Newsletter, again, just remind you that we send out 2 newsletters every month. A golf trail newsletter, and Sky Valley is always a part of that. You either can see you're the member of the month at the top, or you're one of our members. We have 3, members we pull out of the 23 at the bottom, and you will always be one of those. So that goes out to about 250,000 people. And then the golf real estate, there is GeorgiaGolfRealEstate.com, and we're still pushing real estate hard here in Georgia. Come live. And so we do a little one along with our sponsor, Drake Realty out of Atlanta here, and they put us on their email list, which goes out to tens of thousands of people and other real estate agents. So we're excited about that one. Steve, our photographer, is coming up in late September for 2 days. So again, he's gonna be staying in one of Bill's houses. By that time, I should be able to drive it in the car for a long period of time. It's hard for me to do, because right there, where you've been, where you sit is exactly where they did the surgery. So it's a little hard for me to move around. But I think by the end of September, I'll be able to go and get out and do longer drives. It's about 2 hours and 15 minutes from my house up to you guys. So I want to plan to come up there and help Steve out and just get back in touch with him. And then he's coming back right now, I think the 1st and 2nd of November, start shooting the fall foliage. And so we're excited about that. Certainly photos and videos, and all of them are up on the site that Jason has for all of y'all to look at. Got 2 to 4 more media people that should be able to come up this fall. And again, this is the biggest way we can get the word out that doesn't cost any money. So I will let you know more when things are finalized. But just doing things like that where they can just come back and write and just do some great things with people all over the country and locally and things like that. So we want to continue to do more and more of those. Again, before you know it, it's going to be September, and we want to hit South Florida again and let them know about the cool breezes up in Sky Valley, and get them to get out of the heat, come on up this fall. And so we're going to be doing a lot of stuff with that, and certainly pushing that, you can come up and look at real estate or do all these other kind of things. So that's it for this month. A lot of things working for this fall, and again into the winter. You can't just do it month by month. You have to plan ahead. So got some exciting things, hopefully, that's going to pan out, that I will keep you updated on. And again, if anybody ever has any questions, what you guys do, you send me emails, and hopefully I get back to you in a timely manner. But if you have any questions or anything new that you want me to know about, anything like that, me to check on, I'll be glad to do that. So,
Doug,
Sure.
do any of your social media contacts do podcasts?
Some of them do, and it's just, again, trying to get the right person that's going to do the right. Mike May, who I mentioned earlier, he does some. We just have to kind of plan it more. But if we, if we can take some of these videos that we've gotten now from Steve, we should be able to do some extra things with some people that I certainly know that do podcasts where they can talk over it and just have the video there. So that's certainly something we can work on, Your Honor, and go from there.
Well, I know that Ed and I enjoy whenever we're in the car listening to podcasts, and we've listened to a lot of them that interview people and talk about locations and so forth. And I think that'd be great for Sky Valley.
The gentleman in Ohio who was planning on coming down, but the timing didn't work.
Okay.
He puts out a magazine and a podcast. So, and we get a lot of people from the Ohio Midwest area up there that come to Georgia. So, and just all over Georgia. So,
Well, maybe we can have a Jamie Dara interview podcast.
oh boy, here we go. Jamie, our
She looked
celebrity.
up real quick, didn't she?
Our celebrity. Yeah, we got to get Jamie back on that. These guys out in LA are good friends, so they keep asking, hey, when you want to do something. So
Yeah.
we'll see.
Doug, I don't know if everybody can see the comments, but a good point was made in one of our comments here that if Steve's coming up, November may be too late to capture the fall foliage. Typically late October is going to be the prime time. So he may want to bump that up a little bit.
Well, and we certainly, that's the first thing we thought about. And so my first action is to go to Bill and say, Bill, do you have anything? He had something for the 25th, 26th, I think, but Steve was going to be out of town. So, and there's nothing wrong, and Steve will do it. He'd come up for a day and go back. That's a no-brainer. We just want to make sure. And I'm not sure. I was trying to ask somebody. I don't remember who I asked. I thought I asked from somebody up there, and I don't believe it was one of y'all, about exactly when does the fall foliage hit. So I figured November is probably a little late. So wanted to kind of get that in the books. Certainly we got 2 months.
I think that's the first week in November. I think it used to be the last week in October, but I think now it's really moving toward that very first. Does anybody agree with that?
Well, I just saw something on our Sky Valley neighborhood Facebook thing this morning that showed a map of the whole United States of when the peak time is. And the comment said that it looks like Sky Valley may be earlier than normal. Why, I don't really know why. I don't look into all those things. But pictures of Sky Valley at peak is, I think, critical for us, particularly with us rebuilding the website. So if we have to reschedule, I mean, even if we have to put Steve up, in a hotel down the road, I mean, just because Bill doesn't have a place for him to stay does not mean
Understand.
take color. I mean, of all the seasons we have up here to make an impact with photos and media, I think the peak is important, and a week makes all the difference.
Absolutely.
If it's normally, late October and we don't get them up here till the first week or second week in November, we're going to be looking at dead trees.
So I'm looking at the calendar. Do you think, since he can't do that week, the 25th week, you think the 18th is a good time for him just to pop up? Or if we can find him a hotel room down in the valley, 18th week, 18th, 19th, 20th that week?
Does anybody have opinions? Because most of you have lived here longer than me.
Yeah, that would be the next best, because some of the really bright red trees pop out early. Some of the
Okay.
sourwoods and things.
But that's about
Uh,
all that's popped to that extent, that early, Jim, I think.
Mhm.
But I think the best thing to do is just watch it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
just kind of
yeah.
see if Steve can be kind of flexible to come when it really is happening.
Well, we have that big new camera now. So he can watch it from the
Okay.
comfort of his home
That's right.
and,
Well, then
hey,
maybe you can communicate to Steve that for the month of October, he's like a doctor, he's on call.
he's on call. Okay.
Yeah.
Get your
Give me a
butt up
sur-
here, even
I
if you
will-
drive
I
up,
will
on
convey
that.
that to him and have his white coat ready to go.
even if he drives up, takes his pictures and goes home the same day. I mean, that's not the optimal way to do it, but not having fall pictures during peak is like, why are
Oh,
we
no,
bothering?
trust me. Yeah.
Our house is available anytime after October 20th that he, wants to come and stay. Some of that time we may be here, some of it not, but it's blocked for us from October 20th on. So, he can have a bed that we might be here, we might not, but he's fine. He's welcome to do that. And it wouldn't be a twin bed this time. So,
Thanks, Carla. That's awful
Sure.
nice.
All right, well,
Sure.
Doug, let's just work it out. So whatever
Oh,
we
well,
gotta
I'll
do,
talk to him.
even if we put
I'll
him in a
talk to him
hotel or a
today.
motel, make that happen.
Yeah.
We're putting a lot of money into that. Let's make sure we get a return for our investment.
Okay.
And Doug, just to emphasize that flexibility might be important because the dates move around every year and nobody can predict, dry weather, wet weather,
Right.
whether it's going to be a great fall or just an ordinary fall, which is still pretty spectacular at times.
Right.
But sometime in that second half of October, things are going to pick up. And, in the old days, by November 1st, the trees were bare. Well, not anymore.
Yeah. No,
It's gonna last into November, but
I mean, just right here where I live, it's mid-November before they, even kind of start turning. So.
Hey, Jim,
The elevation has a lot to do with that.
Right.
yes.
hey, Jim,
Yeah.
would you be our on-site lookout? And each morning when you go out to have your cup of coffee, you can look down
Mhm.
on the valley and say, okay, not yet, not yet, not yet, and then get a hold of Doug and say, hey, get his butt up here. It's
Oh,
happening.
boy, that's a lot of responsibility, but yeah, I'd be glad to do
I
it.
know, I trust
I
you.
do it
I trust you
anyway.
implicitly.
Okay.
Check the webcam.
Yep,
That's
webcam
what I was
There you
too.
talking about,
go.
Harry, about
Hey.
our new camera we got. So.
Great suggestion, Harry. That way we have 2 points of view.
Yeah,
Right.
we don't want to miss it. So
Trust me, we won't miss it. And
If we-
it's nice,
if we miss it, it'll be next year.
yeah, no, we want to, send those out as soon as we can after we get them. So,
Yeah.
Now, I was reading Doug's communications this week and this morning, and it just came into my head that I needed to say to Doug, I think you do a great job on a monthly basis. You're touching the media that we have never had access to before. You got people coming and going, so at least my opinion is that by putting you on and bringing you on, it's been money well spent for Sky Valley. So
thank you, sir. And it will increase. And with things, knowing you guys and then other people, i.e. like Mike, i.e. like the guy who was in Ohio that had read something about Sky Valley, and he wants to come down. That's the ball that turns.
Yep.
And, so and if you don't do anything, it's just like the state of Georgia, what I told you about my, plans to start what I've started, state just never did anything. And if, certainly if you don't do anything, you're not ever going to get anybody to come and look
Yeah.
at different parts of Georgia. So,
right. And you mentioned real estate earlier, and I checked just a couple of days ago, and there were just 7 homes currently listed for sale on the MLS and no condos. So we're in a much better place than we were, let's say 2 years ago, or maybe even a year ago.
well, that's
So,
always good.
And I noticed that the price of housing is getting better. I mean, better for us at home, not better for those that are buying.
No, it's a catch-22 on that remark. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, moving along, we want to give the rest of the committee a little bit of an update on website. What's been happening is we are going to have our third website meeting today down at Jason's office at 2 o'clock. Am I correct in that? My memory given away.
Yes.
That's correct.
2 o'clock
John
today
Lawson.
down at City Hall. And we've decided to work with a local, we haven't signed a contract or anything, but there's a local fellow from Mountain City who he is this website development stuff, this media stuff is what he calls his retirement gig. So he's not in it to make millions of dollars, which helps us from a financial standpoint. He's also got a son, a younger son, working for him, who is more of the technical genius. So I think we're probably going to get a lot of good technical ability, and also the fact that he's local. I mean, he's coming to be with us in person, which is not something that's normal in this industry, I understand. But anyway, we've talked about having two separate websites, one for the city that is just governmental, and one that is, we'll call it the visitor or slash marketing website. Now that hasn't 100% happened yet. We haven't really signed any contracts yet. Jamie did a lot of research work and looked up municipalities that had two, a travel and a municipality website. And we've all looked at those, and we are coming back to today's meeting at 2 o'clock with our ideas for site maps. I mean, what should we have on those websites? Now, so there's one website out there that I happen to have come across through my connection with Forward Raven, and it's Blue Ridge, and there's this blueridgemountain.com, and theirs is a combined website. As a matter of fact, they're not just a city. It represents Fannin County and the 5 cities that are in Fannin County, as well as all the travel and what have you. So I do want to bring that possible discussion up again today. But for everybody else to know, without getting you involved in the nitty gritty, we're working on how are we going to construct it? Are we going to have the two? The two obviously would be connected no matter what. There'll be a link on each one back and forth. We're going to build it as much as we can. Now, we are not a large municipality. So some of the things that these other cities do, we can do to a lesser degree, let's put it that way. My suggestion would be that we use some of what Forward Raven and Explore Raven is already doing. So we don't have to, we don't have the manpower and the money to duplicate all the things that they do, but we can link to what they do. So things like accommodations and restaurants and events and all that stuff, some of that we can, it's already built out there. So we don't need to reinvent the wheel. We just need to connect our wagon to another wagon. So that's going to happen today at 2 o'clock with Holly and Debbie and Jamie and myself. I think that's it, isn't it, Holly? That's the 4 of us and Jason and Ron. Okay. And we'll keep you abreast of what's going on. When we've solidified maybe what we're going to have on the websites, then we'll bring that to you guys. But if you have it in your heads, and maybe in the not too distant future, we'll have discussions about what else could be, should be. You know, if we've missed anything, we'll cover that stuff with you guys in one of our meetings. Okay, a couple of other things, other topics. Number one, the finances are, we still have the running checkbook balance of $7,419 that's available for the rest of the year. And we're saving that as much as we can to help fund what we're doing with the website. Now, there's 2 ads that are coming out this fall that we voted on them last fall, and we continue to do it. And I'm just reminding you that they're coming. There's going to be a half-page ad in the Mountain Traveler and a full page ad in the outdoor living, North Georgia Mountain Outdoor Living for the fall. And we've had that plugged in for a long time. And that's the last of the media spending that we have planned to do so far. It still leaves us with the $7,419. Now, I think it was, I forget who found it, but it came out this week. It was an email about another possibility that I just wanted you to be aware of, that there's some kind of a historical newspaper that's published. And I looked at the attachments, and it seems like they're newspaper articles from years gone by. Like there was an obituary in there from 1492 or something, but the articles are not current. It's more of a historical, hey, this is interesting. Look at that, look at the other thing, but they do take ads for it. And I did forward that to all of you. Now, we don't have the ability to get in the upcoming end of August edition. And I'm not even suggesting that we do. I'd like you to look at it because, again, we're getting down to the bottom of the piggy bank. And being that most of us have felt that the website is the next critical piece of our marketing function, that we need to focus on that and spend whatever dollars we have on that, because that's going to give us current marketing to all kinds of places that we know where people are looking, which is online. So if you would look at that email that I sent just a few days ago, and we'll bring that up at a future date, that would be great. Okay, so I covered website, expense, media, historical newspaper, hay bales. Holly sent out an email recently that we're going to try to expand the hay bale trail, and she was looking for more concerns, if you will, or more organizations to join. And the city apparently is going to purchase and place the hay bales, paint the hay bale a base color of our choice, and then place a sign near the hay bale to designate who painted, decorated it, and so forth. And they're going to invite the Clayton Tribune and to have a committee to judge the winners and so on and so forth. So it seems to me that the expense of us joining is negligible. If they're going to buy it, place it, and paint the base color, then it would be pretty much, how are we going to decorate it, and what are we going to use? Are we going to be like the kids with the spray cans and do that kind of stuff? So I guess the first thing would be, should we do it? Should we participate? And then the second thing would be, who's going to do it? Who's going to actually take charge of the decorating? And that probably needs to be one of the committee, unless you've got somebody else that you're associated with who's got a talent, because I don't. I mean, I'm listed on the thing as the contact person, and I understand that, but I'm probably not the guy that needs to be decorating. I'd probably put a smiley face with X for the eyeballs, and that'd be it. So first,
what does it cost? I'm sorry, what does it cost again? I guess I missed that.
negligible. The city's
Negligible.
buying the bale. They're going to paint it the base color, and we would just pay, I guess, whatever it is to decorate. So most of them I've seen in the past have been spray painted images for the most part, with maybe things attached to it. Like there's one they used to have down by the pool, and it looked like an apple with a worm sticking its head out of it, which was, I always thought that was kind of cute. Or some of them have been in the past decorated by certain, colleges, go dogs, woohoo. I actually had a thought run through my head if we decided to do one. And it's a thought that I could actually share with the public. So my thought was, if we could have a bale and have it painted like a sky blue color, and then we take our Sky Valley, the SV destination sticker, and duplicate that on the front of it, And then we put a sign that said, marketing committee. I think that would tie into what we do. And I recently restocked with the last of the stickers we have, City Hall and the pro shop. So there are some stickers down there, or there were at the last POA meeting. And so they're available if people want them. And we'll talk about replenishing those. So I guess, do we have to decide, do we want to do it? And if we want to do it, somebody needs to step up to the pump and say, yeah, I'll take charge of that. Discussion.
I'll take charge of that, Bob.
Gordon,
Yes, I'd
okay,
like
you're
to
my
do it.
buddy. You're my new hero
Yeah.
every day.
Yeah.
And, pull in whoever you may need to, maybe
Yes.
I know the garden club women are very creative. Maybe they'd be willing to help, because I think they did a lot of the work last year. All right. So all in favor of Gordon being vice president of hay bales? Say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Now, Debbie Dollhouse just posted something. Let me see if I can pull it up here and really read it.
I was thinking the same thing Debbie was, with the new city logo would be great on your hay bale also.
That would be good too.
Yeah.
All right, so there's two ideas of an image, Gordon, and maybe Debbie, do you have artistic talents?
I'm sure she's screaming no.
No. Does your hubby Jim have artistic talent?
No, none.
No. All right.
I sort of noticed that a lot of the organizations that have been successful doing the hay bales have had some individuals
Yeah.
with some admirable artistic talents.
All right.
I know certainly the chapel. I know Holly's a very talented artist, but I know she's the busiest in the whole group too.
Okay. Debbie's throwing Jamie under the bus here. She's saying that Jamie has artistic talent.
I'm gonna do like Debbie. No.
All right.
I really am. We're gonna be out of town a lot of October. And there are much more talented people with a paintbrush than me.
Jamie, you're out of town an awful lot.
I know, I'm supposed to be retired.
Good answer.
We try to be.
All right, so we'll just leave it in Gordon's hands, and Gordon can, maybe there's a local school of artistes that want to help us out or something, but
Yeah. I'll help
worst
clean
comes
up
to
the
worst,
paint.
worst comes to worst, we can come up with something terrible and get the booby prize.
I have a granddaughter that is really artistic, if we wanted to keep it in the committee. However, she's off at school, so not available.
How about your daughter-in-law, Jamie?
Well, I can check with her.
Yeah.
She would probably smack me
Great
because
artist.
she stays so busy.
Yeah.
Is there anybody else on the committee here or in this meeting that is artistic or knows of someone who would be willing to help, that we could give Gordon a couple of names ahead of time?
Yes.
Anybody?
Gordon,
Mayor.
yes. Gordon, I'll be glad to be an advisor and give you some of my wisdom, hay bale wisdom, if you need it.
There you go.
Bob, I'll follow up with the committee and
Okay.
get the ideas. Great.
All right, Gordon, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right, now I just disappeared myself here. Let's do this again. Okay. All right, let's see. Website, okay. Gordon, at the last meeting you had talked about, or I think maybe Holly brought it up too, about timeshares might want to be changing their decision to be involved with us. And that also there was some consideration that they were giving to renting out some of their spaces, kind of like as hotel rooms. Have you had any discussion to that effect with any of the timeshare people?
No, Jerry said, Bob, in 6 weeks, they'll know from the standpoint, they were at where they were taking back some of these
Okay,
timeshare weeks. And
okay.
that the last time he said, give him 6 weeks. So I've not heard from him, but I'll follow up.
Yeah,
So
thanks.
We should be coming up.
You know,
next
if
week.
if it doesn't change, we're no worse off than we are. If it does
Yes,
change, it
right.
may be another help to us. Now, with
Yes,
that, I know there was some discussion, at least I saw emails about groups coming and wanting to stay, and then, I don't know, they contacted somebody and they were expecting, I'm assuming it was Gordon to find out and
Yes.
contact them and act like a travel agent. Now, the stay and
That was
play,
Toolbright.
yeah, the stay and play is kind of in flux, because if we don't have the ability to do it, which we don't, then we don't need to be doing it. And if we have a website that says, hey, stay here, 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 and you contact them, then we're putting it back on
Yes.
the possible visitors, which we probably need to do because we don't have the ability. We don't even have the places for them to stay, let alone manage it. So I appreciate you doing that, but my suggestion would be, if it comes to anybody, hey, we want to come up and spend, 3 nights in November, say, well, we really appreciate that, but you need to make your own accommodation, and maybe here's who we suggest. I would not get in the middle of making anybody's travel plans, particularly not now.
Yes.
In the future,
Bob, I wanted to add to that, which I thought, if everyone look at that Explore Rabun County that Holly had sent, they
Yeah.
just did just an excellent job about accommodations. And I
Yes.
think something like that for Sky Valley, they could go to it. Now, we don't have any accommodations for Sky Valley, but if we were to do something similar, it would just take everything out of ours. They click on it for Clayton County and or Clayton, City of Clayton. I think that's a really a model to look at.
Yeah.
Easy to be done and
Mhm.
can be transferred on our website.
Right.
We're on it. I don't see the city answering questions about where to stay. I think that's what's on that website right now for Explore Rabun County.
And
I don't think
in
that's
the planning
ideal.
for the website, the construction, and all the websites we've looked at, and me being a member that sits on the Forward Raven Committee, we can take advantage of their resources, and we don't have to, reinvent the wheel. We don't have that ability. Here's the next best thing, pick up your phone or make your accommodation. So let's try to stay out of that mix. If somebody calls, just make a suggestion, and that would be a great one. Go to Explore Raven and check accommodations. A comment that I would like to make about Forward Raven is, I have made more than a few phone calls, left messages. One time I got to speak with him directly. The others were just messages to Rick Story, Holly. And we were asking him, could we use any money that they have that we've contributed towards our website development? And in the past, they did give us some money, technically giving back us our own money to make the stickers. And his was, well, let me check and see if that's, technically legal, I guess. And I never get an answer from the guy. So perhaps, question, if you have a contact with him, maybe you can ask him. And I'll keep following up. I'm not taking it off of my shoulders, but maybe you could take him out on the mayoral yacht and wine him and dine him, and help him understand we need at least an answer. We can deal with yes, we can deal with no. I just never have been able to deal with silence. So I will. Yes.
Bob, Jason and I have an intragovernmental meeting with Rick Story and some of the other municipalities on September 1st. So we'll be
Okay.
glad to bring it up at that point and ask
Okay.
him then. Also, when is your next marketing board meeting?
Oh, let me look. Well, it should be the first Monday of every month, so it should be the 6th, but that's Labor Day, so I'm gonna have to confirm that, but it's usually the first Monday of the
Okay.
month, so it's gonna be right around,
Yeah,
maybe shortly after you have your meeting.
okay, all right. Well,
And
Jason,
I'll double
Yeah.
check my emails.
okay. Well, Jason and I can bring up that with the group.
And it's okay if it's not
Sure.
allowed, it's just,
Sure,
don't leave me hanging.
sure, yeah.
The other thing that I might suggest for future years is I know that we have had a habit of giving them the full amount percentage that we're allowed to give them, I guess, of the hotel and tax money. And they have always said, well, it's great that we do that we give them the maximum. And my suggestion is, let's take a look at that, particularly when you're trying to work with somebody and you don't get any response and, and it's our money, maybe we don't give them as much next year. And we use some of that money to do what we want to do. I mean, I'm not saying don't give them what's required. But don't have to give them the maximum, whatever that may be. So I would recommend we look into that and then make our decision on what we contribute. And then that may leave us, a little more dollars to then not have to ask them for anything because we already have it. Okay. That is so far everything that is on my discussion list. Are there any other items that I've missed or you feel the need to bring up and discuss or make decisions upon?
Bob, I would just like to take a few minutes to thank you, first of all, for presenting the marketing committee's activities and missions at the Sky Valley Property Owners State of the City Address. Thank you for doing that.
Pleasure.
He represented this group very well. I want to thank Jamie also. Like you said, she did stupendous research for our website. And after looking at her examples that she sent us, it was just woefully evident that our city website is really bad. Also, thanks to Debbie for her Herculean effort of coming up with our first website site map. And so thank you all for that.
Okay. No other discussions?
I would just echo what you said, Bob, about Doug's efforts. I'm very happy with him and satisfied with him. The only suggestion that I would make is that we think about how we can market the lifestyle in addition to the golf. We're doing great on golf. There may be a lot of potential that I don't understand how to market to for the outdoor recreation community, for the naturalists, and so on.
Right. And I think I agree with you, Jim. I think some of that may come under the purview of how we can link to places from our website, which we're obviously working on right now, but I agree with you there. Okay, let's look at potential date for the next meeting. I usually forget that, but must be having a moment of brilliance here. Okay, it is now the 26th. If we go 4 weeks, 1, 2, 3, 4, to be the 23rd, Thursday, the 23rd of September. Anybody know of any particular problems with that date, or we just go ahead and do it? Okay, Thursday, the 23rd of September is our next meeting.
That works. Okay.
Okay. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Okay. Seconded by Gordon. Okay. Any nays? All right, good. Okay, thank you, folks. It was, I think, again, good meeting, and we're moving forward. Fortunately, we don't have to juggle as many things as we did in the past, but the website is a very important aspect. And if we can get that website up and working and being viable and usable, I think that's going to be a big piece of bringing people to Sky Valley. All right, we will see everybody soon. I'll see some of you in a couple hours.
Thank you.
Thanks,
All right,
everybody.
bye-bye.
Bye.
Gordon, thank you for talking about the Raven County and all those places, the lodging places that I had never heard of before. And if we can connect with the ones that are closest to Sky Valley on our website, I think that would be great.
Yeah.
I agree with you, Jim.
Yeah. And thank you for falling on the sword, Gordon, for the hay bales.
You know, I just had an idea. You know how sometimes you see on videos and in certain cities, people dress up and they look like statues, and then all of a sudden people walk up and then they move and scare them.
Yeah.
Maybe Gordon could dress up as one of those mimes that are, you know, they
Yeah.
look like a statue, and then reach out and grab them. I'm sorry.
The
I have-
Department of
Where-
Natural Resources says that Sky Valley has a unique salamander, so maybe he could dress up that way.
Oh, like the gecko,
Yeah,
the Sky Valley
Gordon.
gecko.
yeah.
And
I'll I'll help you paint all the places you can't reach yourself.
That's funny right there, Jim. That's funny. All right, is Jamie still on?
She is.
Yes.
All right,
Sorry.
Jamie, do we want to talk by phone, or are we okay with what we've exchanged and just see each other at 2? What do you
Um,
think?
Well, what do you think?
Well, I think you did a great job in your sketching. I'm going to ask a favor of you.
Okay,
I am having trouble with my printer, so I can't print anything. Could you print that out, those pages that you sent me, and bring them?
I already did.
Oh, you are awesome. Okay. Other than that, I think we're on the same page of what and where, and yours is a little more detailed than mine, but I think we're okay for the discussion.
Okay.
All right,
Sounds
so we'll
good to
see
me.
you too. Okay.
All right.
Adios, everybody.
Bye.
Take care.
All right, thank you.